Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Monday night slash Tuesday morning Zoom edition, depending on where in the world you are. We've had some drama over this weekend and in the past week. I was out on Thursday, but over the weekend, the war heated up. Iran and Israel, USA joined, did some bombing, and the markets dropped briefly, but pretty briefly. Bitcoin dipped down to about 98 this morning and then bounced back up to 105, just under 105 right now. And excuse me, I was on Twitter earlier. Looks like there might be some resolution to this conflict that might be pushing up the markets. I'm not sure if X is the best source of that information, but that's where I went to check it out. And for now, let's just go to the charts. And you should see my Bitcoin hour chart. And yeah, 105, just a little bit over. And we can see the big dip we had down to 98. That was this afternoon, just a few hours ago. And then a pretty strong jump back up. And then this is something I wanted to show on Twitter. Bitcoin ETF inflows, 2.4 billion in 8 days. And institutions are buying every dip. So when Bitcoin dips, the big guys jump in. Um, I think, and they probably share this opinion, but buying Bitcoin under 100K is probably a bargain now. Never thought I'd be saying that, but seems just a year or so ago, Bitcoin under 50K was a bargain, and now it's 100. So do with that information what you will. Let's look at Ethereum real quick. It is below the 2500 area. I haven't looked as much at the altcoins generally as I was Bitcoin today, but so they were probably dipping down and on the road to recovery now. So I think we're going to see some good places to get in some dip trades. Let's go over to, well, before we do that, any questions, comments about the markets overall before we head over to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some coins to day trade and swing trade? All right, well, let's do it. Altcoin Alert, I am on the altcoin radar setting. Easy mode is off. I've got all the columns for all the sorts. I'll do a quick refresh to get the most current information. And then the first sort I usually do is the altcoin or the AA score. Looking for values 80 and higher. Euro or the high 70s. Not that rigid. Not that familiar with these coins here. DEX, Lena, and Shure. Quant, HBAR, Render. These are all coins I've traded quite a bit in the mid to low 70s. Let's look at this Lena coin. I'm a little curious about that. Okay, Lena's not very popular. It's only on 3 exchanges, none of which really are in the US, so pass on that. Let's see what else. Go to Quant, it's at 76, up 10% today. That's worth a look. And I know this one's on Coinbase. So let's bring up the Coinbase chart. I'm on the 15-minute chart. This is my day trading layout. If you're interested in receiving this, I can send you a link. Email me at cryptocj13@gmail.com. Before I forget, the powers that be have asked me to indicate that this is not this, meaning this Zoom call is not something endorsed by Altcoin Alert, CryptNation, iCoinPro, or any of those groups that I talk about. This is solely how I use this software to find and track potential trades throughout the day. So don't hold those guys responsible for anything I say on this Zoom call. I can just tell you I like using these tools to track coins throughout the day and help me get into trades. All right, that being said, we're on the quant 15-minute chart. I use the supply and demand visible range from Algo, this free indicator for support and resistance. Resistance here, the red zone, support the green zone. And my favorite kind of trades are these that dip into the green zone, then come back up. It dips and retraces. And I use the RTI relative trend index for alerts and entries. And then sometimes I use this cumulative delta for a confirmation, but not very often. So at the moment, we are in the red zone on quant. So we're a little too late for this one. This one took a dip right about here earlier this morning, though not as much as I would like. I like these dips below 20 and then when they break back up. So a sample that would be right here. See this yellow line is it's dip below 20 on the RTI, then it breaks back up, and that's a trade I'm going to get into. And to follow it to the red zone would have been 9% gain. That's a great day trade. And if you can make 9% less than a day, that's really good. I'm often just looking for like 1 to 2% move, and I trade on leverage on foreign exchanges. So I'm usually 10x leverage, but if you're fairly new to this kind of trading, you should stay on spot trades like on Coinbase or Kraken or something like that, and just pile up those like 2, 3, 4, 5% wins, and your balance can grow pretty quickly. So, all right, so I showed you the hypothetical on quant, but we're not there at the moment. The RTI is above the 80, so if you want to trade this in the future, you can set an alert for the next time it dips below 20. So right click on the RTI, add an alert. On the condition, we're gonna do crossing up on the value. We'll set that at 20. Once per bar close, we'll leave it on all day until the expiration, which I'm gonna set for 8 p.m. You can set this for whenever you want or leave it on all the time. Message. I usually use the information source, so it's AA score. And if you typed in a few times, TradingView will remember that. So AA score purchase, I'll leave the message the same. Notifications, notify in the app on my smartphone, toast notifications, a pop-up on my laptop, play a sound also on my laptop, and I go 3 notes reverb. So, Craig, were you going to say something? Or someone?
You can use that, use the webhook on there for a trading bot.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
That is outside the scope of the Zoom call, but yeah, that would be the function of that. So I click create, and you see the dotted line show up here at the 20. I click over here on the alert section, that alert's there now for quant on the 15-minute chart. And that is set. So if that takes a dip and comes back sometime tonight, I'll be ready for it. So that's the day trade layout. Let's go to the swing trade layout. That's going to be the hour chart. And I'm using the same indicators for support and resistance for the red and the green zone. I'm using the SuperTrend for signals and alerts, and Trendilo LSMA, this moving average indicator for confirmation. At the moment, we've come out of the green zone. We have a buy signal, though this triggered yesterday afternoon. but the Trendilo LSMA is red. I mean, it's green. And then to the red zone, we are at about 6.5%. To the top of the red zone would be 12%, which might be something you're more interested in. 12%, that was 7 days ago when it was trading in that area, a little over 110, $111. So Quant has been stuck at 100 or in that tight trading range for probably close to a year off the top of my head. Um, so if it breaks above that 100, and that's where it is now, just below it, that could be a decent trade. Pick up a quick, 10% or so. So I kind of like Quant as a swing trade, staying in it for about a week. Um, any questions on Quant as a day trade or a swing trade? All right, let's see what else we can find in Altcoin Alert. So that was the AA score. I actually use a social activity sort. Matching up a trading activity is one of my favorites. I actually use this more than AA score. And we've got a couple matches here on Prom, Tron, OKB, Fun Token. Looking for some that I know I can trade on leverage. BAT, Aave. Excuse me. Aave's had a pretty good day, up 11% today. Thumbs up on social and trading activity. So let's look at Aave. That's also on my watch list. You can create watch lists on TradingView. And I trade mostly on Bybit. I started on Binance many years ago, so that's why you still see me on using Binance charts. And ideally, you would use a chart for the exchange you are trading on, but since I know a lot of you guys trade on different exchanges, I just stick with the Binance charts. Okay, Aave on the 15-minute chart, we are above the 80, like we were with Quant. So I'm going to show you a different kind of alert. If you're more experienced and you want to trade on leverage, you want to do some short trades and try to make money when the market comes down, you can set this kind of alert. Right click on the RTI, add an alert. And in condition, we're going to do enter a channel. Set the 80 or the upper value is 80, the lower is 20. Once per bar close. And I'll leave this on till 8. And this will be social activity. And we'll leave the same notification sound. And you can see I have a rectangle now on the RTI. So if it breaks below the 80 and the market looks like it's trending down, that's a trade I can take on the short side. Again, you shouldn't trade on leverage until you've had some sustained success as a spot trader. But if you've done that for a while and you're ready and interested in doing short trades, you can do this kind of alert on the RTI to get those kind of indications and chart movements. Okay, so that's the day trade setup. Let's go over to the swing trade. It looks very similar to Quant. The buy signal triggered more recently as 10 o'clock this morning. And let's see what we got for retrace. Okay, so 11% in a little less than 7 days. I like that. So I like the swing trade better than quant. And yeah, the buy did trigger recently. So if you got in now at 255, an exit between 282 and maybe 289 would be reasonable, I think, based on this information. So that's the Aave swing trade. Any questions on Aave as a day or a swing trade? All right. So that was the social activity sort. And take a quick look at the 1 hour projected range. This PRQ is curious. I'll look at this real quick. Well, shoot, it's only on Poloniex and crypto, whatever that is. So, not sure where you would find this one. All right, Polymath, it's not bad. I see that they're both green, both the upper and the lower. That's something that I usually check out further. And Brad Frontier. These are coins I don't really know. RSR, I kind of like that one. It's a very small value in the middle. This is the most I've seen on this sort where both values are green. Let's look at RSR. We'll just look at this as mostly a day trade. But it looks like the others, so I'm a little disappointed we're not seeing a little more variety in our charts. They're mostly following Bitcoin right now. Let's look at Bitcoin in the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it's just trending. Oh, kind of sinking a little bit. Interesting. So some of these altcoins are going up when Bitcoin's going down. That's unusual. But again, you can set an alert on the RTI, you either dipping below the 20 like we have in this area here. And you can see we had a really nice run up after that dip and retrace. 20+% in a day. That's a great day trade. Not saying you'd stay in all that time, but looks pretty good to me. All right, over on the hour chart for RSR. This looks similar to what we just looked at. I think it was Aave. And it printed a sell and it went right back to a buy, but we don't have much room. Yeah, it's only 3.8% to the top of the range. This is where you can look for a longer range. I know somebody was talking about looking for longer term swing trades to make. Go over to the day chart, and this is kind of interesting. We've got a sell and a Trendilo pointing down on the day chart, but we've got two green candles here. We're just coming out of the green zone. So if you got in now, on RSR, the red zone is 180% 200 days. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not as long as it's longer than I want to be in a trade, but if you're looking for those longer term time frames, this might be something to look into. Um, but we don't have quite the confirmation that this is turned. So in this scenario, you would maybe set an alarm or an alert on SuperTrend, right click, and choose the SuperTrend buy. Only once expiration. I probably just leave this on all the time until it triggered. Um, Custom name. I think that was 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour projected range. Notifications. Usually do a different one for swing or handbell. Click create, and that should be there in my log. Yeah, there it is on the day chart for RSR. So if this gets confirmed, that could be a potential trade to get in on RSR. Any questions on this one?
What, what country are you trading from?
I'm in
What
the
country?
I'm in the USA now. Um, when I trade on Bybit, um, I use a VPN trade from Thailand, which is where I live part time anyway. So
You can still
um,
get away with that, huh? I tried that on Qcoin for a while, then they
yeah, it's not enough anymore to just use the VPN. Got to
right
pass
KYC.
KYC, and I've got a workaround for that, but I'd probably want to talk about it off the recording. Not sure
I
if
got
the
you.
powers that be would endorse this approach. So, um,
I don't think it works anymore anyway.
okay, well then there you go.
Yeah, because they only provided an ID card, and I think you need a passport or a driver's license now.
Yeah,
KYC.
I've heard that for some countries or for some exchanges, but I'm not sure if that applies
Yeah.
to all of them. Um, all right, Hugh is
You know
asking
anything
about
about
it.
the digital getting a digital ID?
Yeah, that's what Craig was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we can. Hugh is asking about Arrow. We did look at this one, I think last week or the week before. Since you brought it up, let's go ahead and check it out. Uh, Go to the day trade function first. I think this one's on Coinbase, right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it looks like all the other ones. So if you want to catch the next dip and retrace, um, set an alert on the RTI and catch a movement like this. Or let's go to the swing option. And to the, say, mid area of the red zone, we're at about 10.5%. That's not bad in 4 days. So if you want to get in now on a swing trade, I'd probably hold some funds back in case it dips again. Might want to catch another, make another position. And yeah, ladder buy into it if you need to. So yeah, Arrow looks pretty good. If you want to get in now, I wouldn't criticize it. Otherwise, set an alert and catch the next buy signal. Probably wouldn't happen today. Be like tomorrow or the next day. Add an alert and click on buy. You know the rest. So that's Arrow. Any questions on this one? I went through it pretty quick, so. All right, let's look at we'll take a quick look at short-term sentiment sort. Usually match that up with Elder Impulse hourly. And there should be quite a few. There are quite a few matches on this. Luna, Venus, Shib. Last week we hardly had any. Now we got a bunch. One. Solana, up 9% today. Yeah, let's look at Solana. Okay, on the day trading chart, again, we're above the 80 in the red zone. So you want to set that alert to dip below the 20. This also made a nice move and it dipped to the 50 and bounced. So we talk about making moves on the 50, but you can also catch moves above the catch moves below the 20, which I think is more conservative position, but it happens less frequently. So if you want to catch, if the market's pumping, you catch those retraces when they just dip down to the 50, you can do that as well. So Solana crossing up on the 50 once per bar close. I'll leave this on till 8. And this is short term. And notifications, go chirpy. Click create. And so there's a dotted line. There's a smaller dotted line and this bigger dotted line. And yeah, there's a Solana alert there. So that's the day trade setup. On the swing, yeah, it's another buy signal printing after the sell. And 9% in 7 days. I think the other ones we looked at are better than that. But Solana is something that could have some value for like a longer term hold, 6 months to a year. So it's at 143 now. I think a stink bid below like 120 or 100 would be worthwhile on this. Okay. But, you guys do you. If you want to swing trade this, then I think that would be reasonable. Sometimes we make a swing trade and it ends up being what's supposed to be a short-term swing trade. It's a long-term swing trade, and then it's an unintentional hodl. That's happened to probably all of us. And you just got to stick it out in those situations. Or if you want to sell it for a loss and try to put those funds to better use, keep your opportunity cost solid, then that's reasonable as well. Okay. So that's Solana. I'm a little behind, so let's go to any questions on this before we move off of Altcoin Alert. Head over to iCoinPro. Okay, I'm gonna go over to iCoinPro, home of the 123 dip. And this is where I started to learn how to day trade. And the tools I use to help track and find and track coins are the RSI Spy and the Buddy Coin Crawler. So Buddy Coin Crawler has been updated. And I'm sorting this by the average low to SMA. Low's a 24-hour low. SMA line is the red line between the Bollinger Bands. On the chart, that doesn't seem to come up. Yeah, so this red line here is the SMA line. All right, so I'm going to go through here and see if there's anything catches my eye. And I'm not really seeing anything. So we could, oh, it's fun token. Let's look at that one. It's on mostly foreign exchanges. I think you can trade on Blowfin without KYC, but that's probably a foreign exchange. Yeah, this one's pretty popular, but let's look at actually the Blowfin one is a perpetual contract, which is a leverage play of some kind. But this one has dipped below the 20, so we finally have something that's pretty close to where we want to get in. This dip below the 20 has not come back up yet. So what you want to do is wait till this breaks above on the RTI and then probably get in right about here and 30%. Whoa. Yeah, that's amazing. If a day trade, if you can get 30%. So right click on the RTI, crossing up on the 20. Once per bar close. You on until 8 o'clock. Oh, this is Buddy Coin Crawler. Notifications. Go beep beep. Click create. And so when this breaks back above the 20, that alert will go off and let me know. And I'll take a look at Bitcoin, check out the market overall. And if things are trending back up, that's a trade I would get in. And then probably try to hold. I don't know if I'd wait for 30%, but maybe even like this resistance here, 15%, this here at 23%. All these are amazing. Take profits on a day trade. So, all right, let's look at the swing trade option on the hour chart. Yeah, it shows a sell and the Trendilo trending down, breaking out of the red zone. So I think on this one, you'd want to right click and get that super trend buy and go from there. And if you caught that, say right about here, red zone would be 19% in maybe a couple days. That's a great swing trade. So yeah, fun token has been in the news a little bit, has been moving. So check that one out if you're so inclined. And he wants to look at Ondo. So let's look at Ondo. I was swing trading this earlier this year. On the day trade, we're in the red zone above the 80. So, maybe set your alert on the 50 or the 20 to catch the next dip and retrace. On the swing trade, on the 1 hour chart, we do have green and green. 4%, 4 days, 10% in 7 days, not bad. The top of the red zone on the 1 hour chart. On the 4 hour, 4 hour looks a little better, though you're going to be in this trade longer. Got in now. The red zone here would be 20% in 12 days. That's pretty good swing trade. And then here, the red zone, 23% in 25 days. Not bad. So I kind of like Ondo on either of those take profit areas. Okay, any questions on Ondo? Well, let's look at SafePal, SFP, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, it's on mostly foreign exchanges. It's on Blowfin though. Well, this one looks like the rest. It's hovering above the 80. If it dips below the 20, it could make a move. So, yeah, not bad. If I go to the swing trade, I don't know about this. Showing red candles on the hour charts. We do have a green SuperTrend and a green Trendilo LSMA. So get in now, go to the red zone. Maybe 10% in 2 days. That's a good swing trade. Pretty short. So not bad. Check out SFP if you have access to Blowfin or one of those exchanges. And that's about it. Any questions on iCoinPro or Altcoin Alert or any other coins you want to look at?
I missed what he was saying about the digital ID. I don't know if he said anything significant.
Yeah, there was a digital ID that some of us were using from the island nation of Palau, and that allows us to pass KYC on
Talk about it off
certain
the recording.
exchanges.
Talk
Yeah,
about
I'm
it
gonna
off
go
the
ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on. So, uh,
safety first.
okay. All right, I'll go ahead and wrap this up, and then if you're interested in the digital ID, contact me through either Slack or email, and we can talk about it that way. And I'll talk about it off the recording. So if you're watching on the recording, I'd rather see you live, but appreciate you watching on the recording. Check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. Thursday, I will be traveling, I believe. Yeah, I'll be heading back to Asia for 5 or 6 months. And so my next Zoom call will probably be Monday night / Tuesday morning. And I'll see you guys then. Until then, have a good trading week. Bye.
Thank you.